Hi, I'm Jeff Hupman. This is my wife Chandy. We're here with Glenn and Morgan Paddock of the Dream Campaign in downtown Savannah, Georgia, and just getting to know a little bit about them today and what it is that they do. So let's start out by going back to before the Dream Campaign was started. What did you guys do before the Dream Campaign?
So I was working at the old Savannah City Mission, and Morgan came on staff there, and about 10 months later we got married.
All right. There you go.
And I've been doing youth ministry most of my life before that.
So we moved to Atlanta the next day and went to work at a homeless mission there.
Okay.
And then the Dream Campaign came out of a youth program that started there at Rescue Atlanta.
Cool. So when you say youth campaign, or the Dream Campaign came out of a youth mission that you were doing there, tell us a little more about that. How did that come to be? What were you doing, and how did that transform?
So we went to Atlanta to implement a program that was called the Urban Training Institute, which was for guys that were sick and tired of being sick and tired and mature in their misery.
Yeah.
And it was a residential program, but they also had church on Sundays.
Okay.
At the mission. So they would go around with a bus and pick up kids, and one Sunday they were in church, and they said the middle school class is going to be with us today because they were so bad that their teacher quit.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there like, I'm not going to let any kids run over me.
Right.
And Morgan's sitting there because she'd been in youth ministry for 10 years. She's like, I'm done
And
with
I was
that.
done.
I'm not doing that anymore.
anymore.
So with prayer, we started it. We took over that class the next Sunday.
Wow.
And asked the question, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Mm-hmm.
And we got answers like work at McDonald's, work at Wendy's, work at the skating rink. Well, it didn't really sit really well with us. Not that there's anything wrong with working at
but like, what's your
but
big
what's your
dream?
big dream? So the next week we changed the questions. What are some things you always want to learn how to do?
Mm-hmm.
Some places you always wanted to go. And we got things like learn how to ride a bike, learn how to swim, go to the country,
Go fishing.
Those are all things that we could help make happen.
Right.
Yeah, and so I had two sisters who said they really love to do hair, and they wanted to learn how to do hair more. And so I called the Aveda Institute in Atlanta, and I said, I have two students that want to learn how to do hair. Can I bring them to shadow some of your cosmetology students? And so that was kind of the beginning where we let them shadow cosmetology students and let them see what was possible with the skills that they already had. And then said, now what would you do? And they said, I want to go to cosmetology school.
Right.
So it's connecting that whole talent, strength with opportunity for what's possible.
That's exciting, right? To help kids that maybe have maybe forgotten how to dream, or like somehow they lost it along the way, or maybe they never were shown how.
Right, or just not aware of like how they're even gifted or how they're designed or what's out there. And I think that's a lot of the issue sometimes, is that we don't know what we could be if we don't know what opportunities are there.
Right, so just helping them to see things that they never would have thought
Right.
about. Yeah, that's exciting. So how did that transform into the Dream Campaign? What happened there?
Well, we were working with this ministry in Atlanta, and they shut their doors after 22 years. And so then we had some students, and we didn't have a place anymore. We had only been in Atlanta for about a year. And so we tried to stay up there for a little while, but most of our support was coming from Savannah. And this was right around the time where there had been a lot of the issues with the shooting at the fair several years ago. And so it was a very big topic in Savannah. And so we prayerfully decided to come back to Savannah, kicking and screaming a little bit, to be honest. Wasn't looking to do that, but we moved back and just started praying about, like, God, where would you have us be? And put it on Facebook one night because I was, because that's what you do with all of your big issues. And I said, I just really wish we knew where God would have us be and where we were supposed to live and how we're supposed to do this. And so a friend of his saw the Facebook message at like 4:00 in the morning and just started blowing up his phone like, I think I have the greatest place that you should be. And we pulled in front of the house, and I was like, I just don't know. It's not was
Was that
not
this
what
house?
it was
Yeah,
this
this
house,
house.
and it was not what I had in mind. It wasn't what I had envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
I had lived in Savannah a long time and had never driven through the neighborhood. And whereas we were waiting to see the inside of the house, the school bus stopped right in front of the door. All these kids let out, and two little girls stopped and played patty cake right in front of the front door.
Oh.
And it was like, if I needed a sign, that was it.
Yeah.
So we moved in. It was a rooming house before we moved in, so we took it as is and put a lot of sweat and grit
Yes.
and tears into getting it ready, and really just decided we're going to move in and be a neighbor.
And so when was this that happened?
It was what? 5.5 years ago.
Okay.
It'll be 6 years in May.
Yeah.
And so when was the Dream Campaign officially formed as the nonprofit organization that it
In
is now?
2013 was like when we did our paperwork. So.
That's cool. So that's the
Yeah.
same year the Hupman group started.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good deal. So since then, tell us what's happened.
Well, when we first moved in, we literally were just trying to be a good neighbor.
Mhm.
We did not want to come. We're not here to change the neighborhood, to do anything other than love the people around us. And that just comes organically through building relationships. And so in the beginning, that looked a lot like cookouts and
We
rolling.
threw a Christmas party.
Yeah,
Christmas
that's right.
block
That was
party
the
is
very
kind of
first thing.
Yeah.
where it all started.
Mm-hmm. And we just put up a sign and said, we're going to have a Christmas party for kids in the neighborhood, and 60 kids showed up.
Yeah.
Really? So they didn't even know you guys?
No.
Yeah, just a
But
few
there's
of
just
them
a
that we
few
had
of them,
met.
like 3
Okay.
of them.
Yeah.
But hey, it's like a party, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
The first kids, some of the first kids we met, I mean, Jeffrey was here to help us move
Right.
in, but we started with a game of Candyland, and we played Candyland with this one kid every day after school.
Yeah.
As of the first game that we had, and we
Yeah.
just built from there. But we saw kids walking through the streets bouncing basketballs, and they didn't really have a place to play, and so we poured a basketball court behind the house, just a little pad, so that they had a place. And then our house kind of became the hangout house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we'd hear basketballs every day after school, and we'd open the door, and there might be 20 kids playing basketball.
Yeah.
And from there, we started doing a Sunday afternoon program where we would bring our volunteers in and have a meal and a Bible study, and that grew to about 50 kids coming on a regular basis. But seasons change and neighborhoods change, and so as more and more kids were moving out of this neighborhood, we had to really kind of look at like, where are they going, and how can we kind of stay one step ahead.
Right.
And so we started partnering with a church in South Gardens neighborhood, offering a tutoring program after school there for kids in that neighborhood.
Cool. So you're tutoring the kids in the.
We
neighborhood.
are
Okay.
doing tutoring and doing things like imagination stations and electives. So we have STEM classes, dance classes, art classes, things that just kind of broaden their horizons a little bit.
That's cool.
And then Glenn, you should share about the toolbox.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that's
I know.
a huge. That's
That's
been
a
a
big
huge part of what we've done.
So I guess it was a year ago we implemented a program called the Toolbox, and it's for young men who just don't have the tools and things like that. So what we do is once a month they come and they get a brand new tool to put in their toolbox. They get taught a Bible lesson that goes along with the tool, and then they learn how to use the tool, and then they make a project that they can take home with them.
So what type of tools like have you guys?
So you start off with screwdrivers,
Okay.
and then tape measures, levels, hammers. The
Yeah.
next one we're doing, this is the second year we're doing it, so this next month is hammers, and then we're all the way up through to drills. So
Yeah.
it's pretty phenomenal to
Yeah.
watch the smiles on the kids as they're empowered to be able to do the things that just haven't been taught. I
Right.
can remember one of our kids in the first year went home and used a screwdriver to fix the door, and the smile on his face, and to hear the joy in his voice, and saying, "I helped my mom fix a door." You can't put a price on that. That's just amazing.
Yeah, it sounds like, if I'm hearing correctly, that a lot of these kids, they've got the ability, they just don't have somebody, or didn't in the past have somebody to show them how to do it.
Sure.
Right.
To spend the time with them. And
Right.
yeah.
And we have a lot of students that are growing up in single parent homes, or we have students a lot whose parents are working multiple jobs and to no fault of their own. Like we just want to come around and support parents in what they're doing.
So that's tricky, especially in a single parent home where the parent is just working so hard to make ends meet. And sometimes with two parents, it's still the same.
Yeah,
they work hard to
exactly.
make
The
ends
same.
meet. But then the kids end up kind of fending for themselves sometimes a little bit.
Sometimes, and then we just say, like, we know it's hard and we know that you're working and provide for your family, and, like, we just want to offer extra eyes and ears and hands to come alongside of you and partner with you as parents.
So have you been able to build relationships with the parents in the community as a result of this too, kind of a partnership?
Yeah, we have some really good friends and the parents, and it's kind of funny sometimes if a kid gets in trouble at school, like we'll be one of the first phone calls, and we'll attend
parents are calling you.
We'll attend the school meetings with them, and
awesome.
we communicate with the teachers about their grades and things like that. So it really, we try as much as we can to make it a partnership.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So since you guys have been here since 2013, how many different kids have you had the opportunity to interact with? I mean, ballpark.
Yeah, probably 200 to 300, if not more.
Yeah, because through events and just daily interaction. But
And out of those, how many are folks that you see on a semi-regular basis that have been with you for a period of time?
Gosh.
Probably 100 or so.
Yeah.
That have been around and spent a lot of time with you guys. That's really awesome.
And we've had, over the course of the past 5.5 years here, just families who may hit a crisis time or something happens. We've had nine different kids live with us at times.
Wow, they've stayed here with you.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you're able to do that.
Yeah. It's been a journey for sure.
It certainly is.
I'm sure, you know, it's one of those things we're hearing about. It's so like awesome and it's so touching. And of course, we're so excited that you're doing it. That's why we want to partner with you. And at the same time, I know that the details can get really complicated sometimes. The day-to-day can bring a set of challenges.
Yeah.
Well, life is messy.
Yeah, it is. And when you do life with people, you go through the mess with them, and their mess, you take on some of it too. And mess can be anything. I mean, just life happens, you know. And so we want to try to provide as much continuity and consistency for kids as we can through the hard times.
That's good. So is there like a specific mission that you guys have or a vision for where you see this going?
We always think that we have like this one thing in mind, and then life happens, and it's ever changing. We you know, the whole goal behind the Dream campaign and the heart behind it has always been to come along and provide support and to help students and their families discover their strengths, develop as leaders, and dream for their future. And how that plays out is different all the time.
And it's
kind of
different for every kid too.
Right. So because our neighborhood is currently changing, we are trying to look ahead and say where are some of our families moving, or where can we partner with other people to help impact their neighborhoods around churches or families that are interested. And also really developing, I feel like the toolbox is one that is really developing around the city right now, to try to have places where young men are being poured into around the city. But always the heart is always for us to live and do life wherever the kids are that we're serving. So that will always be our mission, I think.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Jen, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing. It's just amazing to see what God's doing, you know, with impacting kids and their parents and in the little communities that you guys are living in. So are there any needs that, you know, we can help with, or that anybody that could be watching that can help you guys with?
Sure. You need volunteers for Toolbox.
Always need men that are willing to come and pour into these young guys, especially as they're learning how to use tools.
And then we're always looking for tutors. Tutors that have a few hours twice a week to come and help kids with math skills and reading skills and homework, and just kind of pour into them and invest in their lives. So those are two big needs, two ongoing needs, I should say. Yeah.
And give us a little perspective on that too. How many different volunteers do you have or have you had over time?
Oh my goodness, over time.
Oh, we've probably had 400 or 500 volunteers.
Oh my goodness!
Seriously, over the last
Wow.
5-6 years,
Yeah.
easily that many. But right now we have.
With our tutoring program, 2 days a week, we have probably a total of 50 that kind of rotate in and out. But our goal is to have 1-to-1. We know that the greatest impact is when you can have one adult to sit down with one student and help them with their skills and homework. And so we are not at 1-to-1 yet. And honestly, we'll be able to add more kids in as we go if we can have more volunteers.
So if somebody did want to connect with you guys and volunteer or participate somehow, how would they find you? Where do they go?
Okay, so our website is helpmedream.org.
Okay.
And there is a contact form on there that people can fill out, or they could email me at morgan@helpmedream.org.
Cool. And if somebody wanted to support you financially, can they do that on
They
the website
can do
too?
that. Everything
Okay.
is available on the website.
Okay. Good. Good deal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing all this with us. We really appreciate it. We love you guys. We love what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank
you know, this part of this community has been home to Chaney and I, the Savannah area, for about 20 years now. And we just love this area, and it keeps us in business. I mean, our business is about as local as it can get. We help people buy homes and sell homes, and so we love the community as members of it, and we also especially appreciate the community because it keeps us in business. I mean, there's no business for us without folks that live here. So anyway, so we really appreciate you guys, and if you want to get involved, whether you want to help out or you want to donate or you just want to learn more, it's helpmedream.org.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's
Okay,
right.
so that's the website. You can go there and check it out.